3-Star Diamond coaches. Super excited for this call today. We have the amazing Jen on the line here to actually present what's super cool about Jen. First and foremost, she's from Rexburg, Idaho.
Idaho.
What's that?
Idaho.
I can't hear you. What?
Idaho Falls.
Oh, yeah, Idaho Falls. Same thing. I lived in Idaho Falls. I know where that is. Right? But this mama is a mama of 6. Yes, I just said that. A mama of 6. Okay. What's super cool is she has rank advanced really, really quick. She actually signed up to do the business back in February of this year. So she's only been a coach 8 months. She went to 2-star really quick. She saw me at Summit and said, Brittany, I'm going to be a 2-star. And I said, bring it. She was a 2-star shortly after that. Then she advanced to 3-star. So she's here with us. Like I said, she is a mama. Other than that, she's going to be talking about helping your coaches during the slower season with Success Club and just really helping them to see the bigger vision of what it means to accomplish their consistent goals. So Jen, if you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit more about you, and you can go ahead and get started.
Okay, guys, sorry if I'm coughing a little bit throughout this. I have a tiny bit of a sore throat. So there's that. Yeah, I have 6 kids. My husband is a wonderful, supportive, awesome person that does make it easier with the 6 kids. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how much hair I would have if I was trying to do this with 6 kids on my own. So he's very supportive. And when I very first started becoming coaching, my coach is Burgess Linford, and she helped me to come to my own conclusion that meeting Success Club 10 every month would be a minimum to grow my business quickly, which I really needed to do. And so I started doing that right away. And within 3 months, I noticed a really strong pattern for myself. And maybe some of you coaches, since you're also, 3-star diamonds and you're coaching your teams and stuff, maybe you've noticed this pattern for yourself also, whether it starts at the beginning, first week, second or third week of the month, no matter where it starts at in your month. It kind of just depends on when you're running your challenge groups. Where my cycle was going like this. At the very end of the month, in the first week of the month, I was literally on the computer like 10 hours a day inviting and recruiting all the time, just constantly. It was invitation time. It was posting on Instagram, my invitation time, like all of it, just everything, big time. And then it kind of died off for a week. And I had my points. I had all my points by then. And if I had any points left to get in addition to the 10, to get up to the 10, it was maybe just 1 or 2 people at the very most, mostly only 1. Mostly I already had my point. And then I kind of spent that second week getting ready for the challenge group to start, because a week and a half later for me, my challenge group always starts on the 3rd week of the month. And so I would have time to kind of get that ready, send out homework, do a bunch of different things that were they're less intense. And so in that time, I would also start a free group. And so I had those 2 things going on kind of the second time of the month. And then that week before the challenge group starts and the first week of the challenge group, because I already had all of my Success Club points, were a little bit slower. So it's kind of like the 2.5 to 3.5 week of the month. That week was super slow as far as tasks, as far as I don't have an assistant yet, so I have lots of tasks. I have designing images and getting things, taking care of my team. And those are just kind of task oriented. And that last week though, before the end of the month, was super, super slow. So what I started doing, I did it inadvertently at first, because I was like, okay, well, Brigida told me, and I should tell my coaches, and I hope other coaches are telling their coaches, that we need to be really building relationships during this fun week of the month. Taking that as like, okay, my first focus was invite, sign up, enroll. You're doing things like helping people know how to change their shake flavors, and you're really doing all that sign up maintenance. This week for me became the week where I was really sitting down and spending about the same amount of time at the computer just talking to people non-Beachbody. We may talk about fitness or nutrition, but it was more of a relationship building time frame, because here I am going to go in another week and start crazily inviting these people to my challenge groups and to be part of my team if enough months had gone by and they had maybe been in my group for a while, to ask them to be a coach. So I found that there was this cycle. And so I decided to give a team call on this to help my coaches to understand how to take advantage of this. And so I called it the coach cycle, what to do with calm waters to make waves, to make it so that you're not at the end of the next month going, oh my gosh, I only have 2 points. I only have 2 points. I had 1 month like that. I had a lawsuit that I had to do in, I think it was July or June. And I couldn't do anything the first 2 months or the first 2 weeks. And I think this is when it hit me, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, the 4th month. I wasn't able to keep that cycle. I didn't do anything the first 2 weeks because I was in court. And I was literally stuck at the end of the month making invitations and counting on yeses from 0 relationship building. And it was really hard. I lost a lot of sleep those 2 weeks. It was really difficult. I had nowhere to start my conversations from. It was just really hard. So this is what I did. My presentation, sorry guys, my presentation in my PowerPoint it went out of order. So let me go and find the second slide for this show. I'm very sorry to do that to you. Let's see if I can find it. Daily timer tasks is 3rd. Thanks for bearing with me, you guys. I love you.
Rush. We're here.
All right. Please remove the window away from the shared application to resume screen sharing. Did it stop? Hold on. Why is it doing that?
No, it just says the original screen that you put up, the coach cycle.
Oh, I see. Okay, I know what to do. I apologize. That's what we need to do. We need to X out of that, and then we need to do this. Where is it? There it is. Is that better? And I'm muted.
Now just screen share it.
Okay, thanks guys for helping me with my technical difficulties. Okay, so this is how I delineated the, here it goes. So this is how I delineated the monthly cycle. And I'm gonna tell you guys this little magic trick for what I am going into this next 3 months of the slowest time of the year, because it also expands. We have the busy part of the year and then we have the slow part of the year, so I'm gonna kind of relate it to where we're at as coaches as well. The monthly cycle. So week 1 is free group and fitness community starting and getting kind of signing everyone up and getting everyone that you're inviting going. Okay, that's weeks, and then weeks 1 through 3, or the next 3 weeks, are very slow. So we're going to start our paid fitness challenge group on the 3rd week, and then we're going to do all of our coach account conversions. So everyone that's in our challenge groups, we're going to ask them to do our coach account. Like, do they want to switch to the coach account instead of the retail account? And then, like I said, here it is, week 3 and 4. We're going to do the new coach recruits, and we're going to be doing new challenge group recruits like crazy at the end of the month and at the beginning of the month. And then week 1, we're going to start our coach training groups, and then we're going to start over with week 1 and 2. And that is kind of how my cycle runs as a coach. That's how things are going. And to take advantage of this, I've really just found that week, that 2nd and a half to 3rd and a half, beginning of the 4th week, where you're starting your challenge group, is really, really, really important to really just dive in and dig into those relationship building activities. Now, as a mom, I do build relationships throughout the month, but people don't expect that of me because I really do have a very tight schedule with all of my kids. And I know that 2 kids and 3 kids and 4 kids is also a lot of kids. So it's not a bad thing to not be able to send out 20, invitations every single day. Some people do, I don't. I literally send out like 50 invitations for 8 days in a row, 50 to 100. I'm talking to everybody. So I try to give my coaches a little bit of advice on how to train their coaches on how to do free groups, because it seems like it was like confusing for people. I don't think we necessarily need to go over that. I think you guys know what to teach your coaches to do in free groups. But I want to share this screen with you. It's a super important screen. This screen is awesome. I'm sure that some of you feel frustrated. I know I did, with my coaches not really understanding how important it was to to do these activities. Okay, like it's like I would say, just do it, and they'd be like, yeah, we will. And then they were like, hey, we have a challenge group coming up in a week, and I don't have anybody to join it. I'm like, well, what have you been doing for the last 2 weeks? Have you been doing these relationship building activities? Then this was prior to me making these slides. And I got kind of in this rut where I was like, how am I not teaching this to my coaches? This is on me. I need to teach my coaches what I'm doing during the month. And what I had started doing, I had literally lost my mind one day, and I wasn't able to get things done that I needed to. And I talked to Brigitte about it, and she said, you know what you need to do, Jen? Set a timer. Set a timer. So I actually went through the refiner's fire on this particular stuff first before I taught it to my coaches. So the daily timer tasks, I do this like on crack that week and a half that I'm talking to you about, that last second and a half to third and a half, fourth week of the month, where I'm really doing this. It says right here at the top, 5 to 15 minutes each day, depending on your schedule. That's my everyday timer. That's my everyday timer. And if I don't do a timer task, I will kick myself at midnight and send out one invitation if I have to, so that I can say that I did it every single day. But every day I set a timer, and I do these specific tasks each and every day for 5 to 15 minutes. And during that week and a half, at the end of the month when I start my challenge group, and it's kind of more calm and I'm not recruiting and inviting like crazy for that challenge group invitation, I will literally spend an hour doing each of these tasks, 30 minutes to an hour doing each of these tasks. So number one is liking and commenting on friends that you are not seeing in your feed. Because if you're not seeing them, they're not seeing you. It's all for naught. Nothing you post they're seeing at all. They have no idea how cool you are, nothing. So I have like 5,000 friends on my Facebook page, and there's at least 4,000 of them that are not ever seeing what I post. So I will go in and I will pull up my friends list. And what I do is I open up like 15 browser windows at the top, and then I drag their name up into those browsers. Does anybody else know that trick, by the way? I love the confused looks on faces. I was so confused too when someone told me, and I was so happy about it. Okay, so I'm just going to describe it to you, and it shouldn't be too hard to understand. So you've got your main window open, okay? And then you go into your friends list, and then you know how you have all those blocks of friends just in big chunky squares? What you do is you take your mouse, okay, you take your mouse, hover it over the name of the person that you're looking at, not the message box, not anything else. Hover it over the name, press the clicker down, and long hold it. So you hold it down, and then it will engage. Don't lift it up. Drag the name up into the blank tab that you open, up into the little gray tab that comes across the top. When you click open new browser window, you get a blank tab. Drop it into that, and then when you click on that tab, it will open up into their page. So I literally open up my friends list, and I find a section of friends that I haven't been seeing in my feed, and I will click, long press their name, and drag it up into the tab. Next one, drag it up into the tab. Next one, drag it up into a new tab. Every single time you do that, you're getting an open window of people. So I can go onto each person's page. I can just click into the tab, go onto their page, and I can see the latest posts that they've made, what they've been up to, kind of take a scan and look and see, what has this person been up to? What do we have that we can connect on? What is interesting to me? I don't want to be fake. I don't want to comment on their rodeo picture if that doesn't interest me. That's not going to come across very real. But if somebody got a new tattoo, or if their cat's making a cute pose, or they post a picture of their kid that has pretty eyes, I now have something to talk to this person about, and that excites me. So I'll like the photo and I'll comment on it, and then I just X out of it. I X out of it, and I don't. And sometimes I'll even send a message. I oftentimes will send a quick message. Hey, that picture made my day. What have you been up to? Something like that. So liking and commenting on friends that you are not seeing in your friends list. I always do liking. Okay, before I move on, does anybody have a question about the whole dragging names up into the tab? Does it seem pretty explanatory? Okay. So number 2, I spend time liking statuses in my newsfeed. And Brigitte gave me the idea. She pays her kids pennies to like on Instagram. course, there's lots of different things, Instagram and whatever, but if you have 6 kids who are obsessed with phones and you want to pay them a penny to like pictures on Instagram, you could do the same thing here. You could literally hand your phone to your kid and be like, hey, I want you to scroll up and hit like on every single one of these pictures. And the first time I heard that, you guys, it kind of made me feel like, oh, that's not very genuine. But at the same time, just like we wait for the people that we see that we're intrigued with, they also wait to see who they are intrigued with. If you like someone's, muscle car because your kids were penny liking in your Facebook account and they don't message you back, that's okay. You're not a jerk. They're not a jerk. It's no love lost. You're still just reaching out and doing what you need to do to connect with people. The third thing is I like to comment meaningfully on people's posts. What did I put here? Previous free group participants is a great idea here. Okay, so when you had free people in a free group, teach your coaches this. Teach your coaches that if they ran a free group and they've done it for 2 weeks at the beginning of the month, okay, and now we're in that 3rd week of the month, it is a really good idea for you to keep a list and for them to keep a list of the free group people so that they can go in and comment meaningfully on those people's posts, because that is the next level. They choose to do your group, that's their choice to take interest in what you're doing. If you choose to take interest in what they're doing after the free group is over and say you've invited them to a paid group and they say no, it goes a long way to show them that you are very interested in what they're doing, aside from them just getting a challenge pack and being in your group. If you take the time to go in and meaningfully comment on their posts, even though they've said no, it is a really powerful tool. I have multiple people in my groups that I've done this with month after month, and it takes some months, but they eventually say yes, and it's a really big deal. So I like to do that. I like to take the time to comment very meaningfully on people's posts during that time, especially the free group participants. I also like to make non-Beachbody related private messages and phone calls. People who we know well that have said no at the beginning, like our really good friends, that they said no, and they don't want us to, for them, they're supposed to be our friends. And if we don't call them or if we don't send them an actual meaningful message on Facebook, Facebook is the bane of our existence and the blessing of our existence, because if we're just hitting like, eventually that's going to feel impersonal. And I'm going to wonder why I haven't talked to that person in a long time, or why they're not more meaningful with me. So I like to do that, and I've been teaching my coaches to do it as well. The 5 was the PM challenge group invitations, free group participants is also a great idea here. And you may be messaging them meaningfully or commenting meaningfully on their thread, or you may not have invited them to a paid group yet. And so I always, each month during this week, I always invite my free participants or the people in my free community to my challenge groups, and I encourage my coaches to do that too. And it's things that they're not doing. These are the reasons why our coaches are not hitting Success Club. They're the reasons why our coaches are not hitting Success Club 10, which they should easily be able to do. And then number 6 is PMing coach invitations, or encouraging people to be coaches, which is a really, really great idea with the previous paid challengers. So I can't see everybody's face. Let me stop the share for just a second because I want to see your faces. How many of you have watched Megan E. Wolfson's YouTube video that says how to recruit from a challenge group? Show of hands. Have you watched that video? So only maybe 2, maybe 3. Watch that video. It is biblical coach recruiting from challenge groups. I recruited the most coaches. I mean, I got top recruiter last month in Team Forward Fitness. I recruited 11 coaches. 3 of them are coaches that want to be Beachbody coaches. Not 11 of them. 8 of them are discount coaches. That's still a coach. A coach is a coach is a coach. And I will recruit them later. But the 3 that want to coach are ones that I did Megan E. Wolfson style. And the largest amount of coaches that I've ever recruited was in the month that I did this religiously. It's a 12-minute video, and I could not even start to tell you how worth it your time it would be. And I was frustrated the group before, I hadn't invested as much energy into them. And this way that she has, it actually does take some time, especially if you have 15 people that you've invited. It takes a lot of time to compliment 15 people every day for a week. It's a lot of time, and you have to be willing to make sacrifices and stay up and do it. But it works. I cannot say enough about it. It's crazy what it did for my business. Okay. Let me go back to the slides and see the next one. I skipped this slide. I'm going to show it to you. I painted it in this ugly green color because it is a danger, and this is the big danger in the monthly cycle, the cycles that we have. A common trap. When no one says yes and you just sit and wait. So what I was finding with my coaches is that they were taking my advice and putting out a challenge group invitation at the beginning of the month, and they were inviting. They were messaging the people who liked the invite. They were inviting people through private message, and everyone was saying no. And then they would just sit and wait. They would do nothing, and I was like, oh, you guys, you got to do something. So that's when I started working this all out. And then the last slide, I think it was stuck. Oh, it wasn't. Okay. Let me keep scrolling. There was one more. It was just what to focus on in free groups. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. Those timer tasks, let me tell you what happened after I taught my team this. After I did a team call on all of this, they, like 4 of them started free groups right away at the beginning of the month. And so now I was getting all these questions flooding in through my messenger. Oh my gosh, are they going to think I'm pushy by sharing my story, by talking about Beachbody because it's a walk in water challenge and I'm not sure if I can talk about Beachbody, I can't talk about Shakeology. And I was like, yep, you gotta share. So I'm getting the opportunity to teach them how to share their story in a group. One of the coaches hadn't even shared her personal story on her personal page, but she was willing to do it in the group. Now she shared it on her personal story on her personal page, and guess what? She just got her first 2 Success Club points ever, which is totally rad. So it's this cycle, this monthly cycle of making absolutely sure that you compartmentalize what you're doing, especially if you're a mom. Wow. I mean, if you're just single and you're not married and you have lots of time during the day, I mean, if I was that, I might be 15-star by now. I don't know, because like I'm literally only working 4 to 7 hours a day. And if I had 15 hours a day to work Beachbody, I'd be on cloud 9. I'd be like, woo, let's go. But I definitely feel like when we're juggling a lot and we're teaching other people how to juggle a lot, it's a lot less overwhelming for them if they can focus on what's important for that week. So I'll just kind of recap it. And what I have found is that the 3rd Monday of the month, I always start my challenge group in between the 16th and the 23rd of the month. I have no idea what to do for November. Maybe you guys could give me some ideas. Thanksgiving's throwing me off. So I always do that at that time. At the beginning of the month, I post my challenge group invitation, and I start combing through all my old messages and really inviting everyone that I've already invited and going crazy on recruiting. And then I kind of set up my groups and get things ready. And then there's that window, right, where you start your challenge groups and you're maybe recruiting from the previous challenge group where you can really start building relationships. And using that timer is a really good idea. I've gotten myself caught into the trap of inviting people for 5 straight hours, literally, and then all the other stuff gets left by the wayside, and it just really creates a lot of hiccups. But there's a rhythm where you can transfer everything you've done from one week to the next week, just like that, in a really easy click style, and then it works. And I would say that if you follow this, and if you have your coaches start learning how to follow this, I would say that people are going to start making at least Success Club 5 no later than the 15th of every month. I would say that right there, for people who are pushing for elite, I mean, we want to have those coaches in Success Club 5. I personally would only have 2 or 3 coaches hitting Success Club 5 because I'd have my husband hitting it because I'm in charge of his account. I'd be hitting it, and then I have my second CVC who I have that hitting it. But then none of the other coaches would be hitting it. As soon as I started teaching my coaches this cycle and having them understand just how much carryover that week has to the first week of the month, when you get there 2 weeks later, people are so much more likely to say yes to you if they've been chatting with you about other things other than Beachbody, and you've been doing more than just liking posts on their page. They started hitting Success Club, and now this month, I think I have 5 coaches in Success Club 5 this month. That's the first month that I've had 5 coaches hit Success Club 5. And I've just barely been implementing this for the last 3 months. And so it takes a minute, but it is totally worth it. I feel a little self-conscious here because I did switch topics back to this topic from the other one that I was doing, was going to do, which was teaching your coaches how to reverse engineer their push goal. And my PowerPoint wouldn't pull up, and I had to kind of pull things from different places. And so I feel that I've presented it as well as I can, but it may have been a little bit, maybe a little bit discombobulated. Try to get it all in order there for you. Are there any questions on like how I go about doing this with my coaches, or how you can do it, or how you can teach your coaches to do it? Anything? No?
They have questions. Give them a second. That was awesome.
Thanks. Thanks. I feel like there's so much more to say, and I feel like there's so much more in my heart about it. Once you start doing it, there is a little bit more work involved the first week that I actually put this together for my coaches and then taught it to them, and felt the cascade effect of them going, hey, that would be a really cool idea. I was up a lot that month because they were all of a sudden then just asking me floods of questions, and I felt a little overwhelmed, to be truthful. But that was the whole point, was to get them so engaged and to get them taking actions, typing in a group name for a free group that they've now created that they would never do before. I picture them sitting there being excited or scared or something, like typing in and then saying like, hey Jen, is this a good name for my free group? I don't care. Yes, it's a wonderful name. But we've all been there. We've all been there. And they have to know that you're invested and interested. So I did stay up quite a bit longer for about 2 or 3 weeks trying to help them get going. But, and I kind of had to fudge my way through it too. But I don't know, do you guys have the same sort of monthly rhythm going, or does it vary? If you have any questions at all about how I execute it or what dates I try to focus on, I'm happy to answer.
Hey Jen, quick though, can I say something?
Yeah.
This is also though, when you implemented this is also when you went 3-star. So I don't know if you realized that.
It is when I went 3-star. And my one coach dropped one from her husband's account. She needs one more, and then I'll be 4-star qualifying. So I'm like, come back. But so I actually went 3-star, and then unless I had someone else go diamond, and then my 1 diamond dropped, and so she's about to get it back. If I get my second CDC to 5, which I need 4 more, that will be 5. Tabitha needs 2 more in her husband's. That's 6. So, and then Amy wants to go diamond, and that's 7. And this is the thing. I'm not saying go me, woo, I have the potential of being a 7-star diamond. That is not what I'm trying to say at all. Rank is everything to me because it means my coaches are advancing. For me, I know some people really care about their rank, and I don't fault anybody for that. But for me, I say every day I want to be a 15-star diamond elite coach, because that means I have 15 people who have set their lives in stone from me helping them, and that means a lot to me. What I'm saying is the potential for me to go 7-star did not happen until I got my coaches engaged and understanding that their actions, even though they are going for no, it really helps. I have these 3 or 4 coaches that are going to be getting their Success Club points now, and coaches who are going diamond because of this monthly cycle. And that's been incredible to see. So yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do? Because last year at this time, I was like finding that I would get like people at the beginning of the month, but my challenge group wasn't starting until like, the 3rd week.
Yep.
So what do you do with those people? So what I did is I actually started doing my challenge groups every 2 weeks. So I like run them every 2 weeks, and I found like that I was always like recruiting. I always had a group for them to go into. So what do you do with those people that are like ready to go like at the first or second week of the month?
I take extra time and invest into those people and make sure that I'm messaging them twice a week and talking to them. I mean, I'm not letting them, waiting for them to tell me that their package came. I'm saying, hey, this is going to be awesome. You're going to have a jump start, you know, great, your packet. I'm talking to them about recipes. I'm literally kind of doing that extra one-on-one coaching. Like somebody will order on the 1st of the month or the 2nd of the month. They'll get their stuff on the 7th or the 8th, and their challenge group isn't starting until the 22nd, maybe preseason on the 17th or something like that. So they have like 10 days. During those 10 days, rather than spending all my time building relationships and recruiting other people because I have to, because I don't have 10 Success Club points already, I already have 10 Success Club points by the 7th or the 8th, and I'm literally chatting with those people. I'm just shouting out, hey, I'm so excited, how's your day? Just anything, and they're geared up. Those end up actually being my rock stars in the challenge group, the ones that are posting the most, because they feel like they know me, they feel like I value their opinion. I mean, so that's kind of how I go.
Okay.
Yeah. It is an awkward little space of time. It's like, what do we do with them?
Yeah.
But,
because I was struggling last year. I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I heard of other coaches running 2 a month. And I was like, wow, it's going to be a lot more work. But I don't know. I feel like my team, because also I have like some of my coaches that they're like, does anyone have a challenge group starting on Monday or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, just throw them in mine, you know? So I kind of just do that out there for them. But yeah, I kind of feel like my scheduling is like a little out of the place, but.
Oh, you guys, I got to tell you also, two things I want to tell you about. I started at the beginning of the month, I started making a pinned post that says it's challenge group invitation time and putting it in my team page. A pinned post that, and then encouraging them to write down, like each day I'll be like, does anybody have anyone? Or every 3 days or something. And by the 10th, maybe someone has 1, someone has 3. And I encourage everyone to post in the thread who they have, so that I'm matching up my coaches and getting them to co-coach so that they have enough people in their group. And that was extremely helpful to getting people matched up and doing a group together. How many of you have a team chat thread? Just 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So just 2 people, 3 people that don't have a team chat thread. I would highly suggest having a team chat thread, because not everybody checks the team page, and you can't post every single timestamp post. Like, you can't post every link in your chat thread, because then people are going to be like, why the heck do we have a team page? But the ones that are super important, like I will post ones that are like super heartfelt, that really are about the mission of Beachbody, that are about helping. Like if I post a pinned post like that about, okay, we are now starting the process of teaming up. I'll even post the best time to post your invitation is Saturday at 8:45 or Sunday at 5. It's like Monday right now, right? And then I'll be like, hey, send me pictures of your invitations. Send me your stories. Send me the invites that you're doing. I will edit them, you know, that type of a thing. That is one that I would copy the timestamp of and throw it into the chat thread so that everyone sees that in their messenger, and they click the link and it opens the post up to where they don't feel like they're being bombarded with team page posts all the time. Because some people turn their notifications off and there's nothing you can do about that. And you never know when someone's going to have their aha moment. You never know when one of the posts you make is going to catch someone's eye. I always post about the wake-up call, the Bombshell Dynasty call, or whatever upline call is going on in the page, and then I copy the timestamp link into the chat thread. And I know we're somewhat going off topic right here, but I do have one other suggestion that has been an amazing tool for me. I actually started doing a chat thread for my challenge groups. Same type of a thing. If you sorry, I lost my train of thought. If you are posting everything in your challenge group and they're not checking in and seeing it, which is way more of a problem in your challenge group, you'll have like 10 people not checking the group. If you add everybody in and you say, hey, the purpose of this thread is just so that the daily post at the end of the day, in case you didn't get a chance to check in, is available for you to look at, and any other really big news or big posts that any of the coaches make, it's just going to be a link right here. There's no need to respond in this thread. This is not a chat thread. This is kind of a reminder thread. And why I started doing that was because the month that I recruited all those coaches, after I watched Megan Ewaldson and I was really engaging and doing call outs with my challengers and then complimenting them and all this stuff, that was the month I had the most success, and I was tagging everyone in every post, and that got really time consuming, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't have 2 hours a day to tag everybody in every post. So I started doing a chat thread for my groups, and I would just copy the link, and the engagement has gone way up, way, way up. I can only imagine what this month is going to be like for me with having all those habits from Megan, all of having the chat thread where you can refer back, stuff like that. So I know that was off the topic of the monthly cycle, but I know that we're all striving for high engagement. We're all striving for not feeling like when I send a PM to someone that they're going to be like, oh my gosh, check again. I don't want to, I'm trying not to post. Why is she beating my door down? Like, it gives them an opportunity to choose. So, and to be exposed. And we want to increase those exposures. So yeah, anybody else have any questions?
That was awesome, and I like that you went off topic because that's a really great way to get engagement within your channel.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I'm getting like 15 to 20 comments on posts instead of 2 or 3, so it's pretty cool. If anything, that's going to create very loyal Shakeology customers who are nowhere near ready for coaching. And the ones that are going to be ready in 3 months to coach are now going to be ready in 3 instead of 8. And the ones that are ready in 8 to coach are now going to be ready in 8 instead of 14 or something like that. Because you've opened up that relationship, and their trust level for you is going to go up at a much higher rate. And that's the make or breaker. Do they trust you or to do it, or do they don't? So yeah.
Very cool. We have time for one more question. Do you ladies have any other questions? You get some action items to take back to kind of how to help your coaches hit Success Club or set them up on a correct path that will create success for them, allow them to be leaders. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Guys, I want to tell you one last thing. It is so exciting to have your coaches hitting Success Club early in the month. All of my 5s this month had it done by the 18th or something like that, and I was floored by that. And then they're still kind of racking up a couple more points. It's totally worth it. It's really fun to see that happen. I haven't had that happen the entire time I've been a coach until this month, and so that's been really fun.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Jen, for jumping on and leading this call. It was amazing. Thank you, ladies, as always, for jumping on and allowing me to see your beautiful faces. I will, of course, post this in the group here in just a couple minutes. But other than that, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day, okay?
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye, ladies.